we didn't travel as hurt guys. Like my year when I tore my ACL, I was there, but I wasn't. I was rehabbing like all day. I was rehab, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, it's a lonely. It can be a lonely place for an athlete is when you're hurt.
Hey guys, love the pod. My question is about what happens logistically to an NFL player who gets ruled out for the season with like a long-term injury. So let's say a player gets injured in training camp or very early in the season with an ACL tear or something. Like, what's the protocol? Does the team create a schedule for their surgery and recovery? Does a player have to manage it all on his own? Does he still join in on like video sessions and team meetings and things like that? Completely isolated for the rest of the year. Also, how do players who have those long-term injuries seem to stay in shape and not lose any muscle mass at all during those months when they can't really train? Always been curious about that. Thanks a lot, guys.
First off, you're around the team and your schedule depends on who you are. If you're a guy that's new and he's still trying to learn the system, doesn't know this, offense or defense, depending on where he is in his career, they'll keep him around and they'll design after that. Now, the schedule, usually when you tear your ACL, everything's about your flexion and extension. So when you get your complete flexion and extension back, that's when they'll go in and cut it. It's usually about a month, depending on if you have your MCL or not. They want the swelling to get out. So you do a lot of prehab before you go into surgery with your ACL. And then also who manages it. Your agent helps you manage it. The team will manage it, but you are able to get second, third opinions that the team will pay for. So if you have a doctor, if there's a knee specialist, a lot of people go down to Anderson in Alabama and they'll send either their film or they'll go have a visit with him and see what he says. Team has to pay for it. And if you pick him, you can go with him. You can pick whoever you want to operate on you. I would always have Dr. Neil Alatrosh out here. He's a close friend. I'd always get a second opinion from Neil, just to keep clear thought. Pete Asness did mine. He was in Boston. He's a Boston Mass General guy. And after that, it's pretty routine. Now, how guys keep their muscle mass, that's the biggest problem when you come back from these injuries. So when you tear your right leg, tear your right knee, that's the number one thing you're trying to build at like day one. You're doing quad flexes to try to prevent the atrophy, because once you go in and cut and you don't move your leg, you're going to lose like 20% of your leg in like the first week. It's freaking crazy. So they've got a lot of things now. Also, they have this thing called BFR, blood flow restriction, where they'll cut pretty much the circulation off of your leg or whatever muscle you're doing. And so the work will be like a million times harder. So you can essentially do like a regular squat with no weight, and it kind of manipulates your muscle and your body to thinking you're loading your leg to a whole nother level. So then there's some kind of thing where it'll shoot more growth hormone when you constrict it. So a lot of guys are doing this thing where it's like a tourniquet. They tourniquet your muscles, everyone, and they work that muscle group, and it's very hard, and it reduces the load that you put on your body, but it manipulates your mind to thinking that you're loading your body. At least that's what they say. So a lot of blood flow restriction. But that's the number one thing when you're coming back from injury. That's what I would always tell the doctor. I'm like, I'm not trying to be 100%. I'm trying to be where I was at. 100% healthy and 100% where you're at is completely different. And that's like that's the hardest part about coming back from an injury, especially like a lower extremity injury, is the atrophy, is the endurance strength. You can get up to your top speed, but you can only hit it one time out of 5 when you're supposed to hit it 5 out of 5. You know what I mean? That's what you're battling. That's what the race is right away, is to try to get that leg to where your other leg is. Summary, schedule is where you do it is usually about who you are, where you are in that system scheme organization, how long
Does
and
that
who
mean
handles
like
it.
does that mean like a veteran? Like a veteran can
Yeah,
go
like
off through the thing?
I was around the facility when I tore my ACL, but I wasn't in meetings. Like a younger guy, if he was a rookie and he tears his ACL, he'd do his rehab and then he'd go sit in all the meetings and shit because he has to still learn the install. You know, I wasn't in that point in my career at that time. Some guys, if you want, you could rehab it in different areas at different places. Just once again depends on who you are and where you are in your career, who manages it. Usually your agent and the head trainer, your team. And then timeline is all depending on what the severity of your injury is, because you have to do your prehab stuff, get the swelling out before you actually cut it. So usually they'll wait like a month after, depending. And then also the recovery time, depending on if with the ACL, what they use. Are you using cadaver? Are you using hamstring tendon? Are you using patellar tendon? Patellar tendon's a longer recovery, but a less re-rupture rate, I believe. You know, that could all change. That all changes in every few years. That's what I was told. But that's the race, man.
What's the agent doing? Like, so the agent's communicating with the team?
He's communicating with team. So like, he'll say, hey, do you want to get a second opinion? And I'll say, yeah, set it up.
Okay.
So agent will hit up team and second doctor and put everything together. So you have you can have anyone do your surgery. That's, you know, the league will take care of that. Now, if you're on the active roster.
Has there ever been like an instance that you've seen where the second opinion is like vastly different and it becomes a thing that they have to work through?
You got to take all that with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these doctors just want to, you need to be the guy. I saw, all right, buddy, I got to do it or what? Yeah, am I cutting or not?
Shoot me straight, Doc.
Shoot me straight. I'm out for 8. I'm out for 10.
Because there have been some instances in the history of sports with like players having
Yeah,
disagreements.
but I haven't had that. Like,
Yeah.
ACL is such a routine freaking injury now. 30 years ago, we're different. 40 years ago, you know, you're retiring.
Yeah.
Now it's like Tommy John. You come back stronger.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Did you do cadaver?
No, I went patellar tendon.
Oh, nice.
No one does cadaver when you're playing.
Oh, okay.
Cadaver is the most re-rupture rate. It's usually for like the non-athletic people that are not going to like physically demand their knee.
So Kurt probably went cadaver.
Definitely cadaver or hamstring tendon.
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
And a lot of guys don't want to mess with their hamstring tendon because we're speed guys.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't want to touch any of that. And then so if you are in a schedule where you are in the facility or you're younger and you're near the team, you're going to games too? You're in the facility during games? But not
It's
probably
all-
traveling with team?
We didn't travel as hurt guys. Like my year when I tore my ACL, I was there, but I wasn't. I was rehabbing like all day. I was you know what I mean? So like, yeah, it's a lonely. It can be a lonely place for an athlete is when you're hurt.
I can only imagine, man.
Man, that was awesome. The calls are always great.
Always keep them coming, guys. Keep
I love
them
those.
coming.
I love those inside baseball like deep dives, like inside of the life of a professional athlete. Like we had a clip when you talked about travel that did really well. So more of that stuff.
Keep
Send that
pulling
in.
back
Here
the
you go.
curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, they don't test for weed no more, but hey, they took away our pension. We won that one. We won that one, guys.